everybody, welcome back to the Jack Chapple Show. So, George Clooney built a billion-dollar company. Yes, that is true. We're going to talk about that today. We're also going to talk about Uber. We're also going to talk about Amazon Prime Wardrobe, Planet of the Apps, a little bit about the stock market and a coal mining company. But because I'm a little bit of a hurry today, the stock market's still going to be open for a few hours. We're not going to touch on any stock market winners and losers today as we usually do. So, we'll reserve that for tomorrow or the next day. Anyways, let's get going on this. George Clooney, the billionaire, or at least he's really close to it. So let me take you back here. George Clooney, most of you guys know him as the either like Batman, the guy from Gravity, the spaceman from Gravity, Ocean's 11, whatever. Famous movie star, sexiest man in the world, according to whatever magazine does that. And he has it all. He's always had it all. He's been making millions and tens of millions of dollars, maybe even hundreds of millions of dollars from his movie career, sponsors, endorsements, and so on. He pretty much lives his entire life on a yacht, right? That's what he did for decades. And so, I didn't know this, but he started a tequila company with his neighbors in 2013. Yes, they started a company in 2013 because, well, they were just taking shots all the time. They're like, hey, you know, let's just make our own tequila. That'd be much easier. We can make our own and drink it and make it really, really cheap. So that's what they did. They made some really super cheap tequila, and they eventually just started to, hand it out to stores and be like, hey, I'm George Clooney. Will you have my tequila? Some stores took it. And eventually it grew and grew and grew. And eventually word got out there that George Clooney and his two other partners started a tequila company. And within the first year and a half, they got into like 20 countries. 20 countries! Okay? Their sales were doubling like monthly, essentially. And within the course of 4 years, from 2013 to 2017, they became $1 billion company. And they officially sold that tequila company that they started in 2013. It's called, by the way, their company's called Casamigos, I believe. Casamigos. And this company was started by accident. I mean, they were just having tequila one day. They're like, why don't we just make our own? It seems like one of those conversations that people would have, like, I guess when you're either really drunk or really high, like, man, we should start our own, like, alcohol company. Man, we should just make our own weed, man. And that's what they did. That's what they did. And props to them. So they built their own tequila company. And as of a few days ago, they sold it for $1 billion to a Canadian liquor company called Diageo. I actually gave a stock breakdown of this, I believe, on my website like weeks ago. I didn't even know that they were doing this. Diageo is their market cap's about $60 billion. They're a giant alcohol company, and I really liked them because over the past 10, 15 years, their stock has been just gradually going up, and I love seeing that. They've had their ups and downs, but they actually did well in 2008. They weren't too bad in 2008 when all the stocks were tanking, so that's why I was looking at them. Maybe I did mention them in one of my YouTube videos, actually, too. So, Diageo bought Casamigos for $1 billion, okay? So, George Clooney already had a net worth of somewhere around a few $100 million, but he's probably going to net, just from my estimation, maybe it's him and two co-founders, and maybe they had a few other partners come in or had to give up some equity. So, I'm guessing he's taking home about $200 million from this deal, at least. Potentially, because from what I was able to find, there was no other partners in this company. It was just 3 people. So he could be taking home $333 million from this. So his net worth, he's not quite a billionaire. But now he's in that category of, $500 million at least. That would be my guess. He's nearing billionaire status. And that's really cool. I mean, he is now, I guess, technically a guy who built $1 billion company. So he just earned major props in my book. So all of a sudden, he's not Iron Man, but he's like what does Iron Man say? Like he's a playboy billionaire philanthropist. That's what Iron Man says he is. But so good for George Clooney because his life was so hard being so good looking and being a millionaire already. Why not be a billionaire, right? Good for him. I always love hearing those stories about when people just build up a company from nothing and sell it off for $1 billion. Like, those are my favorite stories to report on. They're good stories. So, anyways, we're going to move on here. I'm going to touch on this one quick story before we get into Uber, which is I mentioned about how a lot of the oil, natural gas companies and a little bit of coal companies, like, they're still going to be around for a long time. But I wasn't too touchy on the coal part. I mean, I was saying that coal could kind of go away first. I don't know if I made that clear in the last video. However, as of yesterday, a giant coal company in India, I actually didn't write down their name, and that is my apologies for that, but a giant coal company in India is shutting down 10% of all the coal plants, of all the coal, whatever, mines in India. They are the largest coal mining, producing company in the entire world. And they're shutting down 10% of the entire plants in their country, which is, in terms of business, it says that they were going to save about $200 million by doing that because it's just not efficient to produce coal for energy anymore. Apparently, they're getting outpriced by renewable energy now in India. They've got a bunch of solar stuff going now, and coal just can't compete in terms of, think about the labor, all the technology, all the in terms of tech, in terms of stuff that you have to use to actually extract the coal and turn it into a usable form of energy. And it's just not worth it anymore. And it's better to go into a renewable energy in a place like India right now, which is, it's good to see. I love it. I love it. So good job for all the renewable energy companies. And hopefully this giant coal company can transition into another renewable energy company so that tons of people don't lose their jobs. So hopefully that happens. But I just thought I'd mention that today because the coal shutdown is happening. I was also mentioning last week about how there was this article there was, I think that there was a state in the USA where renewable energy jobs for the first time ever have outpaced coal jobs for the first time. And I love seeing that stuff. That's what we need. You know, climate change, got to fix all that stuff. And this is probably better in terms of just for the planet Earth in general. So good job, renewable energy company. So next thing I want to talk about is Uber. Uber. Okay, so Uber, the app, as all of you guys know, essentially what replaces taxis, it was built by the founder called stupid spell check corrected it, Travis Kalanick. Okay, Travis Kalanick, CEO, founder of the company. He was forced to step down. He was forced to step down, take a leave of absence from the company a few weeks ago. I think I talked about that. And now he's officially resigning as the CEO of the company. And this comes after a bunch of scandals. He had a scandal, sexual harassment allegations. He was misleading government regulators, allegedly. There's all allegedly some sort of trading insider malarkey going on. And he also had, that one scandal, maybe we'll show a clip of the video, maybe not, of him just arguing with one of his own Uber drivers, and it was recorded.
I lost $97,000 because of you.
After all these sort of scandals, he was forced to resign as CEO. So this company, Uber's worth $70 billion currently right now, somewhere between 60 and 75, I would guess, because it is still a private company. I would guess it's somewhere between, 60 and $75 billion. Travis has a net worth of about $6 billion, so meaning that he only owns, just less than 10% of the company, I would assume, or somewhere around 10% of the company. The company only has $3.4 billion in revenue, which is really alarming because a $70 billion valuation for a company that only has $3.4 billion in revenue. Sure, I know that we're in this age of tech futures and always betting on the future of tech and app companies and stuff, but that is tough, and especially since the company is at a $700 million loss. I mean, I know that this company, Uber's going to be cutting down on its not going to be cutting down on its expenses. It's going to be becoming more profitable over time. It's actually shown that its loss, I think last quarter was about $1 billion. Now it was about $700 million, which is, a massive improvement. However, you still have a long way to go before profitability. I understand it. A lot of companies go into a lot of debt. They want to grow really, really quick, really fast, and take out a bunch of debt so that they can get in. Uber wants to get into every city. They want to get into every city, every suburb, every place on earth, essentially. So there's still lots of room for growth. I understand that. However, there's still a long way to go to prove that $70 billion valuation the company has. So what does this mean? The CEO stepped down. I don't really know what this means. To me, I just view it from the perspective of people working there and also what it would be like for the guy who started the company. I mean, this company is his baby. That's what people don't understand when they run a business. Like, when you build this thing from zero to anything that is successful, it's like you're growing a baby. I mean, and so that's really tough when you have to kind of take a massive step away from the company. Now, sure, people are going to be like, oh, why is he crying? He's worth $6 billion. But it's still, there's a lot of intrinsic value for a lot of people that start companies. Like, you're proud of what you do. I mean, Gary Vaynerchuk, he's really proud that he built VaynerMedia in Wine Library. He's so proud of that. Everyone that's ever built a company, like, it's really tough to sell. It's one of the toughest, even if you're going to make $1 billion on it, that's one of the toughest things to do, is just to give up ownership of your own company. And especially if it continues to succeed into the future beyond your wildest dreams, I mean, that could really suck. And so Travis is taking a step away from the company. I just want to mention this. So I don't know if this is going to hurt the company's chances to go public or not at all. What do you guys think? This is one of the questions I want to leave you guys. I don't really know if this is going to affect them going public or not. Maybe it will potentially promote them going public, because maybe Travis has a lot more say in the company, or had a lot more say in the company. He's still on the board of directors. He's CEO, makes a lot of the big decisions. And a lot of the decisions like going public, they would have to go through him. And now maybe because he's taking a step away, they might not go through him. And so maybe whoever is going to run the company now, they're going to be the ones that make the decision to do the IPO, if they ever do that. So that's just my opinion. I think it probably increases the chances of an IPO in the future. Maybe not. Maybe I could be wrong. So anyways, we're going to move on to the next topic here. I just want to touch on this. I don't want to make this video too long today. So Amazon wardrobe. I have heard about this in the past, but they're tackling the clothing retail market now. And how are they doing this? They're not just doing it by buying clothes online. They've already been doing that. What they are doing is now you can go onto Amazon. If you're a Prime member, you can order a bunch of try-on clothes, order a ton of them, order 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 shirts, and you get to try them all on first. You get to try them all on first. They'll be sent to your door within a day, 2 days, 3 days, or so on. And you get to try them on, and you get to choose if you want to buy them or not. And so now clothes are literally being delivered to your home, and you get to try them on before buying them. And they do have a deal here. If you buy 3 or more items, then you get like 20% off or something, or 5 or more items, you get 20% off. And it's just now think about this. Like, we're at a point where you're ordering clothes online. You get to try them on at your house. Amazon's they're killing it right now, guys. They're killing it. They're taking on every part of the market at the same time. This is a magical company we got here. I mean, who would have thought? Amazon started off as a bookstore in the 90s, an online bookstore. And now they're sending clothes to your home to try on, and you can send them back. And they also sell everything else too. I mean, anyways, what do you guys think of Amazon Prime Wardrobe? Will you guys use it if you're a Prime member? If you're a Prime member, I believe it's essentially part of your just membership. That's all it is. And so the deal is you fill up your box, you order online a box of 10 shirts, you type it in, they send it to you, you try it on at home, and then you return it if you don't like any of the clothing in the same box. So, I mean, would you guys try this? I still don't know if I would. I mean, I'm not at that I mean, maybe I would for a few things, to be honest, actually. If there was some cool shirt on Amazon that I can't find in a store, maybe I would try that. However, I would still probably go to stores and try stuff on. I like to buy stuff right away. I go clothes shopping once a year. So what do you guys think? Would you guys try this feature of Amazon? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Where do you think the company's going? Let me know in the comments below. So the last thing I want to talk about is just actually 2 more things. I'll leave one more business thing and one more thing I'll just mention just because I was like, holy shit. So Planet of the Apps. It is this TV show, Apple Music, Apple whatever. Is it Apple Music, but it's a TV show? I don't know. I have Apple Music, but it's an Apple Music TV show, and it's essentially a Shark Tank-like show with Gary Vaynerchuk, Gwyneth Paltrow, will.i.am, and Jessica Alba. They were the hosts last time, the Sharks last time. And I don't know if they still are. I haven't seen episode 2 or 3. But pretty much it's a bunch of young people pitching apps that they have either made or are in development or have started or have launched, you know, wherever they are along their business path. They pitch it to these investors, and it's like that. And the investors choose whether to invest or not, and they help them along their journey to becoming a successful app. Okay? And so my thoughts on this are, I saw the first episode. Gary Vaynerchuk carried this entire fucking show. Now, everyone else on the show is, you know, Will.i.am's kind of, like, I like all the people. I like Jessica Alba, I like Will.i.am, I like Gwyneth Paltrow. All of them I think are cool. I like a lot of their stuff. But just in the show, they just seem, they're not suited for it. You can tell that they are business people, but they're not that typical business person, right? And so the show is kind of, I really liked it. I'm going to watch the rest of the season, but it's like off. I can't even explain it. It's off, and I think that they're trying to find their way. They were trying to make it a lot more exciting than it was supposed to be. They were trying to add too much drama. I mean, the show editing for this it's not up to par, I guess. I think that was my main issue with that. But I did like the show. I would recommend you guys go check it out. I'm not bashing the show. You guys might like it. You guys might not. Again, one of my other issues is that they only do talk about apps. Some of these apps were really cool. But the fact that you only talk about apps, I mean, it doesn't apply to 99% of people that want to run a business. So, but it's cool. It's another business show to add to my my Rolodex of things to watch. So, in conclusion, I like the show. I think that there is much room for improvement, and Gary Vaynerchuk is fucking awesome and carries that entire show. So that's my thoughts on Planet of the Apps. And the last thing I just want to leave you with, not business related whatsoever. However, I just wanted to freaking mention this because, like, I want to leave you guys with an uplifting story and maybe just talk about something different for once. Is that, okay, Jonah Hill, most of you guys know him as the super fat guy from like Superbad, young guy Superbad. He pretty much plays a fat guy in every single movie, Wolf of Wall Street. And holy shit, he lost a lot of weight, okay? And I just want to say good for him. I always love seeing stories like that. He lost a ton of weight. He went on a diet. He stopped drinking and stuff. And I mean, there was actually this picture on Instagram I saw of Leonardo DiCaprio right now and Jonah Hill, and it was side by side. And it was like, and the comment was like, we're living in the apocalypse when Jonah Hill looks better than Leonardo DiCaprio right now. And so I just thought, I usually don't care about celebrities. I don't care about talking about celebrities whatsoever, but when someone changes their life like that so drastically in such a good way, I mean, it's worth mentioning. So now it makes me want to get back to the gym a little bit more and start eating a little bit healthier. So anyways, that's going to wrap this show up. I know it's not too businessy. I guess I'll just touch on the stock market just briefly. It's a perfect day for me to not talk about it too much. It's essentially an average day. I mean, that's really what happened today. An average day, I mean, Dow Jones was down like 0.2%. S&P was down 0.1%. NASDAQ's up 0.5%. The only real stock that took off today was Twitter. Twitter's up 5% simply because an analyst saw the golden cross and thinks that the earnings are going to go up. So Twitter's up 5%, Walmart's up 1%, Netflix up 1.5%, and everything else, I mean, is essentially within 0.5% of where they were today, this morning. So that's going to wrap this up. I'd like to thank you very much for watching. Check out my stock market stuff in the link below, or the Wealth Accelerator course if you're interested in business. Again, you're all very beautiful people. I'll see you guys in the next video.